Yeah, Steam needs to update, so we're gonna crash Rome 2? I don't really know what the fuck just happened with that. Yo, what is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to yet another Rome 2 Total War Siege battle. You guys know it has to be a Siege battle. You guys know that I have to feed my addiction, and that addiction is the blood of my enemy is upon my sword behind my stick wall. Look at that. I mean, they say this is a wooden wall, but it's still has a lot of stone on it. I don't know. It still seems very powerful. But yes, today's video is going to be about why you should always sally out as a defender. I almost always sally out either with guerrilla troops, or with cavalry as a defender, and this video is going to be a perfect example as to why you should do it, because wow, cavalry is truly overpowered. But in this video today, I am going to be playing as Epirus. Of course, I've got your typical Epirus army with the mercenary Samnite warriors, archers, Cretan archers, lots of levies, a Theros spear, and of course a Royal Peltist unit. I always have to use those Royal Peltists. They are fantastic. I absolutely love it. Over here we are doing whatever we can to be able to destroy the enemy artillery. Banana doing a fantastic job of just kicking this artillery's ass. Absolutely beautiful. Love to see it. Banana is over here going to be playing as, oh shoot, I can't remember this faction's name. It's the X faction. I never played it. Armenia? I don't know. So let me know down in the comments below what this faction name is, because I cannot remember for the life of me what this faction name is. But over here we're going to be fighting against the mighty Tylus with their tribal warriors, heavily armed soldiers, very, very powerful, and against Galatia, of course, with their also very powerful Galatian legionaries and archers as well. Overall, it's a really good battle. It's a really good example as to why you should sally out, and definitely an interesting battle with the sally out tactics and capabilities. It was a very fun battle to play. Many props to both my enemies and my ally alike for playing this game. It was definitely a pleasure to be able to play with you guys. And yeah, all of this was streamed on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CAPN4IS. If you guys haven't checked that already, I do stream as much as I possibly can on that channel. So make sure you guys stop by and check it out as well. I'd love to be able to talk to you guys outside of the actual comments. Although I do absolutely love it whenever you guys comment on the videos and let me know what you liked about the videos and what you didn't like about the videos. It's always good to be able to get that feedback. Over here, you can see our cav is being all sneaky-like, doing whatever we can to hide inside of the forest, trying to make sure that the enemy can't see us. So that way, hopefully, we can do a little nice ambush here, allow enemies to be able to start moving up towards the wall. So that way, hopefully, we can do a little bit of hit and run tactics and do a lot of damage against these enemies. We got a lot of naked swords and cheaper Galatian swords, as well as an archer unit or two. So hopefully, we'll be able to do some good damage against that. Tylus already beginning to move up. My ally Banana was moving out some hillmen to be able to kind of stall the enemy while we were able to send out the cavalry and hopefully do as much damage as possible, but we were unable to attack that last piece of enemy artillery from Galatia, and they are wreaking havoc upon these hillmen. Of course, they are only hillmen, an extremely cheap unit, but you want to try to save as many units as you possibly can, especially with the mixture of slingers and artillery fire, just absolutely bombarding these guys. These poor bastards just taking so much fire. I mean, even against slingers, like, slingers really don't seem to do that much damage against a lot of units, because a lot of units in this game are heavily armored. But against hillmen are the perfect target for slingers, because hillmen have absolutely no armor. They're extremely cheap and susceptible to being smashed in the face by small rocks. So you definitely have to be careful about that. Galatia definitely taking a little bit of time to be able to move up their units. Just now starting to actually move up their naked swords and Galatian swords as the first wave. just trying to get up to the walls and engage with us. I'm not quite sure if they've actually seen our cavalry yet, but they'll definitely see it once we clash our mighty, ginormous spears directly into them. Just look at that. Look how huge that spear is. I'm not really sure what the historical reference of the spear is, but I mean, I would imagine if you jab this spear directly into your enemies, it would just fly out of your hands. I feel like it would be more of a one-use thing. And I don't... Okay, and they do have swords at their hips too, so I guess that's fair. As long as they... Even if it is a one-use thing, as long as they have swords, they're still able to do some work. But now that they've begun to move the towers and their infantry and archers alike, I am going to be starting to move my cavalry out to be able to try and flank around and hopefully engage with these enemy archers over here. They do have a lot of Syrian archers. They do have 3 Syrian archers by Galatia, and then Tylus, not able to bring archers, is bringing a lot of slingers, so they do have some range capability. Should be very, very interesting. I do have a slight line of levies to be able to try and start... Oh, sorry guys, I really need to drink some water there. Start holding off the lines. But yeah, I'm going to use my cavalry to try and begin to distract the enemy forces, to hopefully allow my ally to be able to really do some damage, which they are. Charging directly into these Galatian swords. Shock cavalry are definitely going to be doing some damage to them. Already getting 18 kills, charging into the next one, and they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep going through and moving from one unit to the next. And these Galatian swords aren't too terribly armored. I mean, they got these beautiful shirts, but they are going to take some hits from this cavalry, already getting 63 kills and just pinballing from unit to unit. Absolutely beautiful. I definitely don't condone pushing through units in this game. It is a glitch that's within this game, but historically cavalry are kind of meant to be able to push through enemy lines and weaken them and, you know, kind of just destroy their formations, and make it easier to be able to defeat them as well. So I personally, if people charge cavalry through my lines and I'm not defending behind them, then that's on me. I personally do not condone being able to move your cavalry through lines like this, especially if it's towers too. I mean, just because I know some people are probably going to get upset inside of the comment section, but just saying. I mean, it is cavalry. This is what they are meant to do, to charge into lines and to be able to push through. And just, oh my god, those naked swords did not stand a chance against my Thessalian cavalry. Charging in and already killing more than half of that unit, instantly breaking that unit, having my other unit of cavalry charge into these naked swords to be able to help support my friends' Cappadocian cavalry, just wreaking havoc upon the enemy lines. Again, just just pinballing these enemy units. They have a lot of naked swords that were trying to charge up in the very beginning, and they're very susceptible to archer fire and cavalry charges. So just doing a ton of damage. I'm going to go ahead and peel off a unit of my Thessalian cavalry to be able to chase down... Oh, okay, eventually peel one off to be able to chase down some of these units that haven't fully broken. I just want to make sure that any units that we break stay off of the battlefield, because that's kind of what, I mean, that's what we're trying to do. This unit of Thessalian cavalry almost dead, but with 172 kills. For a little over 700 gold cost unit, it's definitely worth it. Definitely getting their money's worth and killing a lot of different units. Definitely evening out that death of my cavalry, if not you know, costing the enemy even more gold with how many units that we just broke. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 towers with units on it that our cavalry has successfully killed the units on. And that, I know it was a lot of cheaper units, but still, all of these individual units cost 300 gold, 400 gold. And so, you know, multiply about that by what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 towers. That's a lot of gold, a lot of damage to the enemy units. Definitely worth it. One of my allies' cavalry dying, and the other one kind of coming close, being able to hold the enemy off, so that way hopefully we can retreat at least some of our cavalry units. I'm going to start charging my smaller unit of Thessalian cavalry through the forest to hopefully flank around and get some kills on those archers. But I did not notice that the enemy was moving in their general. I wasn't paying attention at the time, and so that general is going to successfully hopefully get my smaller unit of cavalry and be able to take them out. So I'm going to quickly try to get my larger unit of cavalry out of there. Just wanted to try to make sure that we save them for as long as possible for the late game, because they can definitely do a lot of damage. 147 kills, but still with 56 men remaining, definitely have a lot of opportunity. Moving into the actual siege in of itself, over here with some Illyrian levies, because my ally was asking me for a little bit of help, just because he put a ton of his money into his cavalry. Those cavalry units definitely are not cheap. And so I sent over a couple of units of Illyrian levies to be able to hopefully help my ally to defend against the enemy over here. And we're doing a very, very good job of defending it against these tribal warriors, surprisingly. I mean, they're tribal warriors, but I mean, even tribal warriors with how much armor that they have, I mean, they're getting a decent amount of kills, you know, over 100 kills in the one unit we looked at. But between all of the archer fire, I mean, I've got a couple of units of archers over here supporting, just because we've taken out a lot of Galatia. So I'm not really too worried about the rest of the forces of Galatia, so I just sent over a couple of archers to be able to hopefully do whatever is in my power to be able to take out these tribal warriors. My ally still has another unit of Eastern Cataphracts that he had kept back to be able to kind of just mess with Tylus here a little bit, and just do whatever they could. So he sent his general as well as 2 other cavalry units over this way, and then 1 unit of very heavy cavalry over this way to be able to kind of support this line as well. But overall, we're doing a fantastic job of killing Tylus, of doing a lot of damage to Tylus and his tribal warriors, and you got to be careful with that too. You never want to attack in waves like this. I've made this mistake and continue to make this mistake a lot, and I'm definitely trying to work on getting better at this. Excuse me. I'm really hoping I'm not starting to get the hiccups. But attacking in waves. I mean, Tylus still has a lot of reserves further back. You always want to try to make sure that you move your reserves as close as possible. I mean, you know, trying to make sure that you're not charging into enemy archers that can mow you down before you can even get on top of the walls, but just close enough so that way whenever your men are starting to break, or whenever you realize that you need more support on the walls, that way you guys can actually send your men there. So just got to be careful about that. But yeah, Tylus, you know, doing whatever they can to be able to push through, but just with how much archer fire is going into his units, we just have so many units here to be able to take him out. And so he's just, right now, he's definitely having a little bit of trouble to be able to push through and be able to make it inside of the city. Over here, Galatia is starting to come. Oh, Rome 2 just crashed. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I think we're about where we left off. I know around there. I just remember that we had left off whenever the Oaths one were beginning to march forward. But let's go ahead and continue on with the battle here. Again, just absolutely decimating these tribal warriors. And, I mean, they're trying to send over some Celtic slingers, but ultimately the issue with a siege battle and attack is that with Celtic slingers, they can't quite shoot over the walls. They don't have that arcing range that the bows actually have. So with the Celtic slingers right now, and it looks like they have them on fire at will, so they're kind of wasting a lot of ammo on trying to shoot this artillery piece as well, which is actually out of ammo. Another thing, guys, make sure that you guys keep your fire at will off. Never have fire at will on if you can help it, because ultimately there's really no point. You just have to try to make sure that you can micromanage your guys and allow them to be able to shoot wherever they need to. These Oathsworn are charging up as quickly as they possibly can to be able to try and support their allied tribal warriors, but it looks like these tribal warriors are about to fall. I am charging my Illyrian levies into the backs of these tribals to be able to hopefully finish them off, but they are already taking so many javelins from so many different places, and with that flanking charge, ultimately these tribal warriors are not going to last long as well. Yep, they are getting the hell out of here, which I would do the same thing as well. Galatia is starting to get their forces back together to be able to hopefully go into the siege towers and support their ally. Their ally is starting to get even more tribal warriors out of the woodworks and charging towards the overall battle. So it's definitely not over for the enemies yet. It's definitely been a little bit of a rough battle for them so far, but it is definitely not over. Tylus sending over a unit of light horse, just trying to figure out exactly where Our cavalry is gone. We still have a unit of Thessalian cavalry and his general unit as well, which so far has 173 kills, which is absolutely insane. They have spotted my Thessalian cavalry, and I honestly was not paying attention at this time. I was focused elsewhere on the battle, and they're going to go ahead and use their abilities and get a nice charge off, as well as a volley into my shot cavalry, which is going to be devastating. And so pretty soon here, I'm going to beg my ally to be able to get his general in and hopefully save my Thessalian cavalry. Galatia finally getting their units back over. Their Galatian legionaries, their elite units. Definitely not elite as some units within Rome 2 Total War, such as the Oathsworn, which are so incredible, so incredibly good. But definitely not a force to over or underestimate. So they're definitely going to go ahead and get their Galatian legionaries up and over, but I do have my Illyrian levies and my Theros spears and my general nearby to help defend against those enemy units. I'd also sent over a couple units of mercenary Italian swords just in case the enemy started to break through. And of course, my micromanagement at this point of the battle, absolutely atrocious. I wasn't paying attention to these Illyrian levy units, and they got surrounded and absolutely decimated by these Oathsworn. So that was my bad. They've got 2 units of Oathsworn and 1 unit of tribal warriors. My ally, getting charged by their unit of tribal warriors and getting shot at by their unit of Celtic slingers, but he's going to do whatever he can to be able to move these eastern cataphracts over to be able to hopefully get a charge off on those Celtic slingers. Over here I have moved my archers forward. For whatever reason, they're trying to march through the gates. I was trying to get them onto the walls, but for some reason my archers were just very, very, very adamant about going through the gates and engaging with these Oathsworn. They gutsy, I gotta give them that, but definitely not what I wanted them to do. So I'm going to quickly tell them they get the hell out of Dodge and get the hell away from those Oathsworn. We're getting some major lag right now. Hold on. Let's go ahead and go to slow motion here real quick. But yeah, so Galatia sent over their noble horse to hopefully finish off our cavalry and help to support those light horses that were engaged with us. But royal cataphracts are extremely powerful. And Thessalian cavalry are great too, don't get me wrong, but those royal cataphracts are just absolutely so dangerous. So we were actually successfully able to take out that general unit as well, which is going to be huge for the later battles. Galatia still definitely has a decent amount of troops, a lot of Galatian legionaries, as well as I believe all of his full units of mercenary Syrian archers, unless we took one out. I'm not quite sure, but I don't remember seeing them. One of those Illyrian levies that had originally run away have come back, and I'll hopefully bring them back to the battlefield here sooner rather than later. The enemy is utilizing their Oathsworn to hopefully break down those gates, but I am going to use my archers to hopefully focus down these Oathsworn, because again, they are a very, very, very powerful unit. They are arguably one of the most powerful units in the game. They can do a lot of damage. So if we can take them out with archer fire before they can engage with our infantry, that would be amazing. And the fact that they are also taking fire from the towers as well, basically a unit that we didn't have to pay for, it's fantastic. I definitely will not complain. They are successfully able to get enough fire damage to start burning down the gate, but they are going to have to sit there and look pretty for a little bit while that gate is burning down. He is going to use one of these Oathsworn to hopefully soak up some of this ammunition, but there are a lot of arrows, and I also have some mercenary Italian swordsmen with full ammunition as well firing down on them, so we are getting a lot of damage dealt to them. The enemy still has some ammo with their artillery, so they're going to be able to use their artillery to try and hopefully do damage to our units, enough damage so that way their Oathsworn can come in and finish the job, as well as their tribal warriors. They do still have some Celtic slingers and another unit of Oathsworn, 3 Oathsworn. On a large size army, as well as all of the tribal warriors that they brought. Definitely a very, very powerful army, but not a full army. You have to be careful. I always love to be able to bring cheaper troops because they are good at cannon fodder, they're good at weakening the enemy, they're good at tiring the enemy out, and they can definitely get a lot of kills if used correctly. So it's always good to be able to bring those cheaper troops as well. But Tylus overall is still a fantastic faction. The tribal warriors are incredible. Definitely a fan favorite and definitely one of my own personal favorites. Moving back over to these Galatian swords, they are going to go ahead and start charging into my Illyrian levies. I was trying to use whatever ammo I could with these guys to be able to get as many kills as I could, doing a decent amount of damage to these Galatian swords. But these Galatian swords will definitely best my levies in melee combat. They are just superior. These Illyrian levies are very cheap, but much better than a lot of the other cheap units such as Hillmen and plebs, stuff like that. They can definitely pack a punch if used correctly. This Illyrian levy unit is doing a fantastic job of holding back the enemy while we're using our Theros spears to be able to help weaken these Galatian legionaries. Fantastic job, and we're doing whatever we can to be able to deal the final blow to these Galatian legionaries as well, fighting on all sides. I am going to begin to send more reinforcements as well as my general. My general has a lot of volley capability or Javi capabilities as well, so I'm going to start trying to send whatever I can to be able to do as much damage as I can to these enemy forces. Moving back over to my ally side, taking on some tribal warriors, about to kill this unit of tribal warriors, still getting 147 kills, even with all of the fire going in, even with all of the troops that it has to fight, doing a fantastic job of trying to take out as many enemies as it possibly can. And then he is sending these Oathsworn units, which was extremely weakened, but still managing to get around 160 kills, which is incredible. Those Oathsworn, even though we brought them down to 50, 60 men before they were able to charge through the gates, I know a chunk of these kills were from my Illyrian levies and my archers accidentally charging outside of the gates, but still, for having been shot up by so many different archers, they are getting so many kills and still doing a fantastic job of just chopping up our troops. So very, very well done by our enemies. But yeah, it looks like Tylus is beginning to be taken out. They do still have one more unit of tribal warriors and one more Oathsworn, but from the looks of it, I don't see any more troops. I don't know if he has any more hidden inside of the trees, but that may be it. So it is going to be up to Galatia. The balance of power is definitely lower and not in favor of the attacker side, but I've definitely seen games won by, I've definitely seen games won with even worse odds than that. So there's always a chance in Total War, and any Total War game, there's always a chance. Never give up, because you never know when you'll be able to pull a game out of your ass. I am going to go ahead and move my general around, my Royal Peltis over here, to engage with these Galatian swords, which have successfully taking out my Illyrian levies. I also have sent in some mercenary Samnite warriors, as well as my Theros spears, and some archers that are actually out of ammo into the fray to be able to hold back the enemy and make sure they don't get out of this little choke point we have set up over here. The enemy is going to go ahead. If you guys are playing a siege battle, don't do this. If you have a feeling that you're going to lose, don't just try to make the game go on for a longer time. Or make the enemy come out to you, because it's kind of boring for everybody involved. But what this player is going to do, a fun player to play with. He watches my streams and he's a really good guy to talk to. But what he's going to do is he's going to come over here and just kind of make a little turtle formation to make us come out. And I'll ask our editor, Brady Boy, to cut that out for us as well, so you guys don't have to watch that, so don't even worry about that. But yeah, Galatia over here just having one more unit of Galatian legionaries, just getting absolutely peppered by my archers. And yeah, it's not looking great for the enemy forces. I mean, they've got some archers left that still have pretty full ammo, if not completely full ammo, and a couple of unit of Galatian legionaries. But they are going to go ahead and move back over to that corner and wait for us to move in. And then Tylus still having this unit of tribal warriors engaging with our troop. Actually, I think those tribal warriors are glitched. I mean, you've got a couple there, but I'm a little confused. Oh, I guess they're right there. So they're not completely glitched. They are inside of the fray. And then you have the enemy General Oathsworn getting continuously charged by this Royal Cataphract General, which has 430 kills, which is insane. As well as a couple of units of Axemen. They are not going to last long. As you can see, they broke the mighty Oathsworn, taking down by the lesser man. Very, very well done. And then we just have to take out this last troop of tribal warriors. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it, guys. I will be back whenever the battle is pretty much over, and we'll look at the stats. Alright, guys, and we're back here to witness the final charge from both armies. I got a unit of mercenary Italian swordsmen charging in some Galatian legionaries. They're not going to be enough to be able to take out these legionaries. They're already weak enough. But just something to be able to start getting that charge in. And my ally did send his general over behind to be able to hopefully utilize this gap and take out those mercenary Syrian archers. And he's got a lot more units coming in to be able to engage with those legionaries. The enemy is not long for this earth at all. Let's watch this charge from the legionary standpoint. Oh no, look at these axes. Oh, those axes are absolutely beautiful. Oh, come on, charge in. Oh, the legionaries! Go! Oh my gosh. Get him, Axemen, get him, get him, get him. Oh, that guy just got destroyed right there. Shanked right through the throat. That poor bastard. Oh, and the enemy is also just fighting over on this side. I'm trying to do what I can to be able to get my units around and take out these archers. And my ally moving in his general to be able to take out the rest of these archers. Yes, I think that it is safe to say that it is a GG for us and for the enemies. That was a beautiful battle. Illyrian levy is moving in to engage with these archers. That general still engaged with them, racking up the kills. 517. Come on, we can make it to 20. 520 kills. Beautiful. And then you've got the rest of these Galatian legionaries breaking. Oh, these poor bastards didn't even know what hit them. These axemen just kicking ass. That was beautiful. That was a very well played game. Very well played by both my enemies and my ally alike. Very fun game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And this is why you should bring cavalry to a siege battle if you're the defender, to be able to sally out, because it can do some serious work. I mean, our cavalry just took out half, if not more, of the Galatian army before we even had to deal with them at the walls. It can kick some serious booty. So, fantastic. Let's go ahead and end this replay and look at the stats. Over here, my cavalry getting 170 kills, 193 kills. I'm getting 1,672. My ally getting 184. Charlie over here getting 100. 100. I swear I can do math. I swear I can read numbers. 1,492 kills. Sanders getting 1,358 kills. Absolutely beautiful. Getting some decent kills all around on my troops over here. Banana getting 528 kills on some royal cataphracts, 108 on those eastern cataphracts over on the other side, and some really decent kills on those Cappadocian cavalry, 261 and 210. Archer kills doing very well. Axemen doing pretty decent. The Oathsworn always getting some pretty decent kills. Tribal warriors also getting some pretty decent kills as well. And those Galatian legionaries, 237 kills, 115 kills on that artillery overall. Very, very fun battle. GG's to my enemies, GG's to my ally. That was very fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this battle. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We are so close to hitting 100 subscribers, so I'd love to be able to fulfill that accomplishment for this year. And I'd love to be able to hear your comments. Make sure you guys let me know what you liked and what you didn't like about the video. So that way, hopefully I can improve and bring you guys some better content in the future. But either way, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Really do appreciate it. And I will see you sexy ass motherfuckers again here soon. Peace.